The cause of death in the Gabby Petito case has been revealed. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is the Cultural Confederacy. It's Wednesday night. That was me actually doing the retrohale through my corncob pipe. Whenever you smoke a pipe, you're supposed to do some type of retrohale, either through the nose or the mouth. By doing that, you bring out the flavors in the tobacco. It also helps to keep the pipe cool. Now, I prefer to do it through my mouth because if I retrohale through my nose, it irritates my sinuses. And I'm also enjoying my Great Value Donut Shop coffee, as always. But the Grand Teton County Coroner had this Zoom call or presser yesterday, which was a little odd. They had some tech issues. I think they should have done a standard presser. But he said that the cause of death of Gabby Petito was strangulation, throttling. And when I heard this, I immediately thought of the movie Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Now, in that film, it stars Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, who in real life were married to each other. But in that movie, in the bar scene, the tail end of the bar scene, Elizabeth Taylor's character, who is Martha, says something that causes her husband, George, to snap. He grabs her by the neck, starts choking her. In the process, a table is overturned. So I think it was that type of scenario that played out just before Gabby Petito died. I think she and Brian got into some type of argument, maybe a physical altercation. She probably called him a leech, was threatening to leave him, and he grabbed her by the throat, and that was that. Now, we don't know if there are any bruises or markings on the back of the head or neck. All we had yesterday was the cause of death, but I'm sure this will all come out in the future. So I want to go back over the timeline in this case, and this may be somewhat of a train wreck of a video tonight because I don't know where to start. I have a whole bunch of notes here, and I got to give a shout out to Popcorn Planet. He's doing a great job of these live streams. I've had kind of a tough week, so I've been watching these live streams when I need to lay down for a little bit, get a little rest before I go into work or what have you. So thank you, Popcorn Planet, for putting out these live streams, for doing all the great work you do in this Gabby Petito case, or what you have done in the Gabby Petito case. And there was this clip. Now, I've been looking at different clips and researching some of this myself. And there's this one clip, I think it happened this morning, that you had the press outside the Laundrie home, and they were asking Mr. Laundrie what he thought about the results of the coroner's office, of this autopsy. And you know what he did? He went out there and he started his lawnmower. He was mowing his lawn. Who the hell does that? So here's how it played out. Mr. Laundrie, do you have any thoughts on what happened to your future daughter-in-law who was strangled to death? Completely tone deaf to this whole situation. Now, shortly before that, he was spotted in a gas station or a convenience store. I think it was a gas station because he had to go get gas for the lawnmower. Picked up some milk, some juice. Then after he mows the lawn, he's out there with a weed whacker. Luckily, he didn't, cut the flowers out of the Gabby Petito flower bed. At least he didn't do that, so give the guy credit. But this is just odd. And then the statement from the Laundrie family lawyer after what was revealed yesterday was revealed. I'll go through that here in just a moment. But let's go back over the timeline. Go back to August 27th. A lot of people are saying that after this incident at the Tex-Mex, the Mary Piglet, that is the day or the night that Gabby Petito was killed. But I'm thinking more on the 29th. Because remember, on the 29th, Brian hitchhiked 2 rides, trying to get back to the dispersed campsite at Spread Creek. I'm thinking to myself, well, if he killed her on the 27th, he wouldn't have mentioned to anybody, these people giving him a ride back to camp. He wouldn't have mentioned that he had a girlfriend. I mean, he wouldn't want anybody to know that he had a girlfriend if he just killed her. So I'm thinking that this probably happened on the 29th. They're saying between the 27th and the 30th. That's the official report. Now, we do know that on the 27th, a final text was sent to Gabby Petito's mother, who found this to be a little odd because she referred to in this text, her grandfather referred to him as Stan, saying, "Can you help Stan? Get a hold of Stan. I just keep getting his voicemail or I guess the line was busy or something like that. So Gabby's mother found this to be a little odd. Now we know that Brian returned back to Florida on September 1st, and on September 11th, the Northport police authorities were at the Laundrie home 3 times that day. Guess they were examining the van. And then Brian goes missing between the 13th and the 15th. So there's a lot of questions here. What did the Laundries know? What did Brian tell them? I still believe that Brian lied to his parents, saying that Gabby was still in Wyoming, that they were going to separate. I don't think this was anything new. I think that they had some problems in their relationship from the get-go, and they had this cooling off period every so often. So I think that's what happened. And he said she was going to stay in Wyoming for a while at a hotel, maybe something. Like I said, he probably made up some BS. So that's what I think happened. And then he slips out in the middle of the night. Now, there was this interview done with the Northport police, with their PR person, named Josh, I forget the last name. It's Josh something or another. But Josh Taylor, that's the name, Josh Taylor. And at one point during this interview, it was with this Ed, I forget his last name. It's with Banfield. He's been reporting for Banfield. And during this interview, Brian asked him, well, did you see Brian go out of the back of the Laundrie home? Why did you let him out of your sight? And Josh Taylor's response was, well, did you see him? And Popcorn Planet pointed this out. Well, it's not this reporter's job to keep track of Brian Laundrie. It's you, as the authorities in Northport, Florida, the police, to keep track of this guy. You know what it seems like to me? And maybe I'm wrong here, but it seems like they wanted this guy, Brian Laundrie, to get away. That's what it appears like to me, that they wanted this guy to get away for whatever reason. So there's a lot of questions here. A lot of people are saying that the coroner made this mistake yesterday by letting it slip that this could have been a case involving domestic violence. I don't think that's the case at all. I think he was sending a message to Brian Laundrie, because before they do this presser, they always give this information to the FBI. That's what they do. So they'll give this information to the FBI, double check with them to see if it's okay to say this in the presser or Zoom call. So I think this was intentional, sending the message, if you commit a crime like this, we at the coroner's office in Teton County, Wyoming, will find out. We'll find out, and we're going to go after you. But you got to listen to the statement from the Laundrie family lawyer after this went down yesterday. This is what he said. Total disconnect here. Gabby Petito's death at such a young age is a tragedy. While Brian Laundrie is currently charged with the unauthorized use of a debit card belonging to Gabby, Brian is only considered a person of interest in relation to Gabby Petito's demise. Why didn't he use the word death instead of demise? Demise makes it sound like it's Gabby's fault. At this time, Brian is still missing, and when he is located, we will address the fraud charge pending against him. What? What? But why hasn't Brian been named a prime suspect in this case? I still believe that they wanted this guy to go on his own. Maybe this was a way to trap him, to see if he would leave the house and track him that way. I don't know. Just a theory here. So as I said before, Gabby and Brian probably got into this heated argument over money. She called him a leech, was threatening to leave him. And that's when all hell broke loose, and he strangled her, killed her. So a lot of unanswered questions in this case. But, there's something else that a lot of people are wondering, and I'm wondering this myself. Did Brian call his parents as soon as this incident happened in Wyoming at the Spread Creek campground? And I thought about that. Well, if he did that, his parents would have told him, stay put, we'll fly out to Wyoming. We'll meet you there in a hotel, and we'll talk about it. We'll hire a lawyer. I don't think that's the case. I think that he committed this crime, fled the scene, took Gabby's debit card, racked up all these charges, over $1,000 worth of charges, headed back to Florida. And I don't think this incident happened in the van. I think this incident Most likely happened outside where they were camping. So that's what I think happened. And I keep going back to that scene, the bar scene from Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. I really believe it's that type of scenario that played out in this case. So Brian lies when he gets back. You have this lull. There was Labor Day in between, so the Laundrie family meets up at Fort DeSoto Park. And there's questions about that, about these reservations that were canceled and then rescheduled. But what I don't understand is why Gabby didn't leave this guy months ago. Months ago, because there are texts showing that she was concerned about the relationship, or that there was a strain in the relationship. Things were getting worse. I think what you have is a case here of two young people, as I've mentioned before, who had different views on where they wanted to go in life. Young idealist, didn't have much money. They thought they'd shack up in a van and cross the country, and everything would be fantastic. Be all roses, peaches and cream. Well, then reality sets in that you've got to pay for food, you got to pay for gas. How are you going to keep yourself clean? Where are you going to camp? So hopefully all this will come out in the wash pretty soon. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please click that like button, subscribe. Hit me up on Instagram at #JasonComposes. Leave comments below. Now you can reach me at Twitter, Cultural Confederacy Twitter. I believe this is a crime of passion. That's what we're looking at here. Brian snapped in the heat of the moment, and he took it a little too far. I don't think he meant to. Now they're saying possibly premeditated. I don't think that's the case. I think it was a crime of passion, as I said, heat of the moment. And when that happens, there's no reasoning. You know, it just, the mind just goes into robotic mode. So I think that's what happened. I think he was more frustrated with her, with what she said, the fact that she was probably threatening to leave him. But after it happened, he probably tried covering up the crime, making it look like an accident. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm just throwing a theory out there going back through this timeline, and I still maintain that it was probably the 29th, not the 27th, in which he was killed. So I hope you enjoyed the video. This is the Cultural Confederacy saying peace out. Stay safe, everybody. God bless this great country, and I'll catch you next time.